Take a moment now to adjust your posture. Is it possible to imagine the volume of your entire body simultaneously? Is it possible for you to imagine that as you inhale naturally, your breath fills the entire volume of your body? Can you imagine that as you exhale naturally and as your breath leaves your body, you're left filled with space? At the same time, you are aware of the space inside your body. Is it possible for you to imagine the space around your body, the space above, behind, to the sides, and in front of your body? At the same time, you are aware of the space inside and the space outside of your body. Can you imagine the volume of any pain or discomfort you may feel? Is it possible for you to imagine the length, width, and thickness of any pain or discomfort you may feel? Can you imagine the distance between the center of any pain or discomfort you feel and the backside of your body? Can you imagine the distance between the center of your pain and the sides of your body? Can you imagine the distance between the center of your pain and the front of your body? Is it possible for you to imagine the distance between the center of your pain and the top of your head? Can you imagine the distance between your pain and the space inside your ears? Can you imagine the distance between your pain and the space inside your mouth and cheeks? Can you imagine the distance between your pain and the space inside your throat? Is it possible for you to imagine the distance between your pain and the space inside your stomach? Can you imagine the distance between your pain and the space inside your rectum? Is it possible for you to imagine the distance between your pain and the closest part of your spine? Is it possible for you to imagine that as you inhale naturally, your breath flows through the heart of your pain? Is it possible for you to imagine that neither you reject nor encourage the experience of pain? Can you imagine fully accepting the presence of your pain and not trying to reject or avoid it in any way? Can you imagine allowing your pain to diffuse over any region of your body it may wish to? Is it possible for you to imagine the surface area of your entire body, and at the same time remain open to the experience of your pain. Can you imagine that the boundaries of your body are gradually dissolving so that the space inside and the space outside of your body becomes continuous? And at the same time, can you imagine that you can remain fully open to any experience of pain that may be present? At the same time, you are aware of your pain and space. Is it possible for you to imagine and equally attend to any other sensations and perceptions that might be present? Tastes, smells, thoughts, body feelings, or emotions, equally attending and simultaneously to these sensations and to space and your pain. Can you imagine that this three-dimensional space permeates and pervades all of your sensations and perceptions, especially your pain? From this open focused state, can you imagine how gently narrowing your focus and directing your narrow focus toward the pain you experience, and very gently and very gradually, can you imagine that you can move toward the pain, actually closing the distance between you and where you perceive the pain to be, gently moving toward the pain? As you approach the edge of your pain, is it possible for you to imagine that you can dissolve yourself right into the pain? First into the edge of your pain, and then gradually moving toward the center and the heart of your pain, experiencing and remaining open to your pain as you move towards the center of the pain. Can you imagine that as you reach the heart of the pain, that part of the pain that is most intense, most extreme, just as you get through that most extreme center of the pain, can you imagine gradually opening your focus and allowing into your awareness all of the other sensations and perceptions that are you, attending equally and simultaneously to all of those sensations and perceptions that are you. Can you imagine that in this state of open focus, there needn't be any movement because there is simultaneous awareness? Can you imagine that open focus in an effortless state of mind in which you can rest? Is it possible for you to narrow your focus and gently direct it toward the heart of your pain? And as you direct it towards your pain, is it possible for you to gently move toward the pain, opening yourself more fully and more completely as you approach it? And can you imagine that as you begin to enter the pain, you can dissolve yourself right into the heart, the center of the pain. And just as you experience the most intense part of the pain, can you imagine once again opening your focus to include all the sensations, perceptions, emotions, and feelings, including the pain, all simultaneously and equally? Once again, can you imagine gently narrowing your focus and directing it toward your pain? And at the same time, can you imagine moving toward the pain and opening yourself more and more into the full experience of whatever pain you may encounter, dissolving yourself into the heart essence of the pain, until just as you experience the maximum pain, you open your attention open your focus to also include all of your other sensations and perceptions that might be present, and coming to rest once again in open focus. Can you imagine repeating this cycle, starting in open focus? Can you imagine repeating this cycle until you've experienced the most intense part of your pain and returning to open focus until your pain dissolves completely?